Hi guys. So I had to give my opinions on this recent YouTube purge, Steven Crowder Vox situation, whatever you want to call it. And I want to keep this video very brief, but I had to make a few statements. The first thing I want to say is, don't any of you find it interesting that the Zionist propagandist, Israel First Canadian, Steven Crowder, is the one who initiated this entire scenario? I do. And in my opinion, he's taking a dive for a long-range plan. But that's just my opinion. But I wouldn't be surprised if there are others out there who agree with this opinion. But the main purpose of this brief video is to give my opinion on the direction I see people going with this scenario. I am seeing people call for so-called Jew-wise people to team up with the alt-right. That reminds me of something. That reminds me of 2016, when I started doing this, when you had the alt-right and the alt-right holding hands, ignoring people like Sheldon Adelson, ignoring organizations like Chabad Lubavitch, ignoring psychographics companies like Cambridge Analytica, ignoring people like Jared Kushner, and the list goes on and on and on. So we're seeing people call for that again in a very interesting time period, in a time period where we're gearing up for the 2020 elections. So my opinion on how this scenario is going to play out is the alt-right and the alt-right will team up again. And ultimately, what's going to end up happening is Daddy Don, Donald J. Trump, my Lord and Savior, will throw them a bone, like he did previously by calling out the mainstream media, whatever it is. He'll throw them a bone, and people will get their YouTube channels reinstated. They'll be able to be monetized, whatever, spread wide, for a very brief period of time. Sort of like what happened after 2017, when my channel was demonetized. Okay, and I was hit with this purge as well. I had videos deleted. My channel was already demonetized, so they couldn't do that. But consistently, videos deleted up until this point, and during the purge, I had a couple videos deleted, including my most recent one. But the concept of teaming up with the alt-right Israeli First crowd is unbelievably foolish. Because what does that ultimately do? That ultimately puts you back in the left-right game. And as all of you know, both the left and the right are dictated by a foreign Eastern subversive country called Israel. Both the left and the right. So blaming all this on leftists is just playing into the dialectic. And people will go, what do you know? You know, you're a 22-year-old with a retarded inflection in your voice. Well, what I did know is that the Donald Trump presidency was a farce. What he was giving you was pure rhetoric, and the bigger picture simply wouldn't change. I was right about that. And the people who are calling for teaming up with the alt-right, yet again, gearing up for this 2020 election, are the same people who ignored Sheldon Adelson, ignored the Israeli First policies, ignored all that stuff. So like I said, I just want to keep this video very brief. And my main point with this is, how foolish would it be to team up with the alt-right and pray to a higher Israel First power like Donald Trump to save the day? Maybe he'll throw you a bone, but it won't last long. And ultimately, what's this going to do? It's going to keep us on the YouTube gulag. They might throw you a bone for a little bit, but ultimately, you're going to be right back to where you started, just like after Donald Trump was elected. Right back to where you started. Bigger picture doesn't change. Actually, the bigger picture progresses for those who dictate us from a small foreign country. So I think personally, it's a blessing in disguise. Life's greatest gifts are often disguised as your worst nightmare. And it's time for us to move off YouTube. Right? It's going to be a very painful process. You're not going to get a lot of views. You're not going to get a lot of traction initially. But ultimately, I feel we will prevail. And it's time to do that. The idea of staying on YouTube is also stupid. And I think we need to take that step. You're not going to make any money doing it. It's going to be painful. But are you in this for money? Or are you in this to educate the masses and spread the information, regardless of how that information gets out? Okay, so that's pretty much all I wanted to say. You guys take care and be smart about this situation.